I jerk off at least twice a day. Once in the morning, right after I work out, and then once right after lunch. I do it because I need to.
Mateus, retards have escaped. Recruit a group of critics with attitude.
Hello, everybody. Long time no fucking see. How y'all doing?
The bear has crawled out of its cave.
Yep, the hibernation is finally over. Mating season's in a couple months. I'm excited. I'm hyped. How you guys doing?
Oh, great. I was waiting for so long to finally come back.
I'm blue, but apparently I'm not a Blue Ranger.
Whatever, it's fine. Somebody has to be the Blue Ranger. Hawk's Scottish, so it works. I'm gonna let that sit out there. All right, so we are back finally, and what we're gonna be covering today, first off, is this whatever thing that Mark showed us a while ago.
Oh no!
Why Berserk's sensitive portrayal of toxic masculinity was revolutionary. All right, so we're just gonna.
Fucking god! I can't believe this. Yeah, this is like a year ago. Yeah.
Yep.
Almost a year ago. All right.
Cyrus, get in here.
I think he's not on this on in the Pornea zone.
He is.
How is he not in the Pornea zone?
No.
He's in there. Get in there.
Oh yes, I didn't see the green name.
All right.
Green people are not people for you.
Got him.
Yeah, they're not blue.
Orcs are second-class citizens confirmed. All right. OLM Incorporated's 1997 adaptation of the late Kentaro Miura's seinen classic Berserk continues to be the manga's definitive on-screen portrayal, despite only covering the series' first arc that didn't cover the Black Swordsman.
Yeah, the Black
all.
Swordsman is the first arc.
That was one episode. You have failed in the first sentence.
Yeah. It's almost like the guy has absolutely no fucking idea what Berserk is.
Yes. Almost like that.
Almost.
Like, I would love an adaptation of the Black Swordsman arc. I really would, like, completely unfiltered.
Yes. I would honestly... first time when I heard that there would be a movie adaptation of Berserk, it was like in the 2000s. There were news that C4 studio would... or 4C studio? I don't know. It's the one that made the trilogy of the Golden Age arc for Netflix. And they first announced that they would cover the Black Swordsman arc and like parts of the Inquisition arc. Instead, they just made the Golden Age arc trilogy, which was fucking hellfest.
Yeah, and like, like the only thing they did better in those three movies was including Skull Knight.
Skull Knight, yeah.
And the aftermath of the eclipse.
Yeah.
Like, they still cut out a bunch of the shit that gave Berserk the gravitas, because of course they did, because it's movie runtime.
That's when I have to recommend Berserk for anyone who wants to watch the anime. I just tell them that hey, watch this scene and watch the end of the movie. And you have the full picture. You shouldn't even watch the movie because they cut out so much from the base story. it's amazing.
Like, I will give them props though. The like the very end where Guts is running through the forest out of the thing, that is gripping.
Yes, that is really spot on.
It is fucking heart wrenching to to see him
And-
run his bandages off.
We
while
don't get any of
memories.
that in the 2016 one.
Well, I mean, they can't afford to animate Guts run in the 2016 version. Like-
Yes, they
like, all
can't
they can
afford to
do-
buy a run cycle,
Mhm.
a 3D program.
Yeah, they can afford to spin the camera like 720 degrees for like one step, though. That was fun. It wasn't disorienting and confusing at all.
Clang.
Fucking, like, that fucking clang. Like, bro, the one fucking time the clangs would have worked against Grunbild, the 10-foot tall dragon man in 3-inch thick armor. The one fucking time that clang would have worked and went,
Yeah.
like, what the fuck? Like, it clanged into the dirt and then went on his shield. Like, what? How do you do that?
They didn't give a fuck about that time. They put just like maybe like they had to respond to the negative criticism, which I don't know like how did it take that long to reach them. What is like really incredible for me is that Miura was one of the people who supervised the production of that show. Yet it still saw daylight. So unlike the creator of JoJo, who was extremely critical of the anime adaptations, he was like the other half, which is just like, well, whatever, just do whatever the fuck you want.
Like, honestly, I think Miura did it right because like just to like fuck it, because like all the time he spent like training his assistants to hopefully maybe continue Berserk would be much better spent than trying to make 2016 2017 be a thing.
Yes.
Oh hey,
Yeah.
look, finally fucking showed up.
You'll be hurting my feelings.
You know, I was thinking about that. And the thing is, I really don't care.
Sup?
Hey,
Hey.
The anime portrayal of Berserk, the only thing that was good that came out of it was the soundtrack.
yes, the soundtrack is god tier.
Yes.
Like 99% of the fucking budget went into that.
Also, did you know that like there's I can't remember the artist, but he was the same one for the '97 adaptation.
Susumu Hirasawa.
Susuma, yeah, and he made an entire album for the 2016 one, and they only used 2 or 3 songs from it, from the 20 or so, for some really odd reason.
Wait, Susumu Hirasawa did the soundtrack?
Yeah.
He did the entire soundtrack for '97, but
God.
he also reprised a lot of his tracks for 2016, and he wrote some new ones.
I had
And
no
they
idea.
only used 2 of the tracks.
I had no idea. I thought the man can only make absolutely insane symphonies that should be cacophonies.
No,
He's also really approachable. He's really cool.
he is.
A friend of mine asked him if he could use an old track of his for a 4X space game that he was programming himself. So in a one-man show, and Hirasawa said, "Yeah, okay, sure. If you like it."
Yeah, he's a bit of an oddball. If like you see like how does he produce his music, but like he seems pretty friendly.
I love his music. It's one of the few insane things that calm me down.
Oh,
I don't know why. It's a thing.
Zach the Thunder King, if you are on Discord, up what I'm about to put in chat, you can DM me that directly and we will put it up next stream. So yeah, just look that up on the old Discord. Should find me. All right. Let's continue on. The section of Berserk, the Golden Age arc, is on the surface a quintessential action fantasy plot. Behind this macho veneer, however, lies a moody world of intrigue and horror, all led by an intricate web of relationships, mostly centered around three people. Guts, a vagabond turned mercenary. Guts is. When was Guts ever not a mercenary?
He was. That's the premise of the show, that he is a mercenary. He was brought up by mercenaries, and that was the only thing that he was good at. And that's why he had such conflict in the middle of the series. That like he realized that like he doesn't enjoy anything else than that. It wasn't enough for him.
Mm-hmm. Griffith, the ambitious and charismatic leader of the band of the Falcon Mercenary Group, and Casca, the band's unit commander and one of Midland's few female warriors. Only. The only.
Only?
No. She's not the only Midland warrior.
Who is the other female Midland warrior?
I'm blanking on the name.
You're not thinking of Farnese, are you?
No.
Okay. I was about to smack the shit out of you. You were.
Oh god, I'm blanking on the name. But I know.
You're talking about that one from the Baki Raka? That one female assassin from the Baki Raka?
Yes.
Bruh. Assassin versus actual military unit commander in the army.
Still considered a warrior.
Oh, whatever. Split hairs, why don't you? Anyway. The anime follows the three as they toil with fame and trauma in the twilight years of the 100-Year War, a century-long conflict between the show's main setting of Midland and the neighboring shooter. God, like so many fucking problems with this. Anyway, the Band of the Hawk proves instrumental in several key battles and eventually claim victory for Midland that effectively ends the war. As celebrated mercenaries, Griffith joins the inner court of Midland's nobles, while Casca and Gus contend with their burgeoning feelings for one another, as well as fluctuating loyalties to Griffith, who values his dream of glory above all else. Okay. We're skipping that. Okay. The epicenter of the theme is, of course, Griffith, a man who came from little and strives for his very own kingdom. Griffith is strikingly beautiful and effeminate with long white hair and intense blue eyes. He is a traditionally masculine. Is he not,
the
though?
appearance? The appearance? No, at the time, like there were so many of these knights who had long hair, and they looked flamboyant. That's like something that comes with that age.
Like, also, what is more traditionally masculine than like taking a kingdom by killing the enemy?
A person should really be more precise about describing this, because this is really not doing justice to it at all.
Oh, and he's not traditionally masculine in any other sense other than his overwhelming prowess on the battlefield, other than the exact thing that defined him as a person.
Yeah.
Like the thing that was getting him his goal, the main thing that was getting him towards his goal. Okay. His true strength, though, lies in his charm. He's a person who can get what he wants by using others and thus considers himself the owner of people indebted to him. Like, yeah. That's exactly what his relationship with Guts is predicated on, a sense of entitlement, of masterhood. Like, okay. Slaves were a thing in that time, so it's not entirely out of the question for him to feel that way. Also, like the whole fucking thing was their whole relationship was predicated on Guts defeating him in combat.
Yes.
Like, and he basically he indentured himself to Griffith.
And then it ends. It was supposed to end after Guts faces Griffith again in the duel.
Yes.
Instead, Griffith got horny.
Mm-hmm. He doesn't have to grow or morph and adapt to the situation the band finds themselves in until he does. Like, he never does, though. Griffith never grows. He never changes. That is the problem. That is why
Griffith
he sacrificed.
Same from the get-go.
It's like the fact that Guts was changing him is the reason why everything went to hell. If he had really, like, if he had stuck to his guns entirely, like, tell me you don't know Berserk without telling me you don't know Berserk.
Yeah.
Strong, taking what they want, but sheer force of will. Using what tools and opportunities are available to them. One manner in which he does this is through using his very body. Autonomy and free will are intrinsically. Would you say free will or causality? Because I think Guts is the only one that exhibits a free will in the show.
Yes. Like, he
manga.
acknowledges that there's a god, but, like, he fucking hates him.
Yes.
Makes him very sympathetic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, if God was a giant heart that just makes things bad, I would also not want to worship it. So
That was such a strange decision on the Mirror's part. Because, like, okay, at the time when he introduced that concept that, okay, that's the main bad guy of the series. But then he decided to, like, take it out from the official release from after that. But he said, like, it's too early for it. I always felt weirded out by that, because I was like, when is it gonna be the time? When is it gonna be the time? Because I don't think like every other release included that scene.
yeah, I can't really think of a time when it would be more appropriate than to show us God than in the birth of one of the final members of the God Hand.
Yes.
Like, it revealed too much. Like, what? I don't see how. Like, it establishes a good, like, this is the way the world of Berserk works.
Yes.
And then
other than like him elongating some of the chapters much later on in Berserk, I don't think like Mirror ever made that many mistakes in the story. Like, it's so consistent, and the lore is never really betrayed by himself.
Yeah.
I'm looking at you, Game of Thrones. Like, he had such an extremely good memory of like events that he had wrote down like 200 chapters before. I was amazed.
Oh boy, here we go. Even Griffith struggles to control his own body at times. I don't know what that means. One of the show's most precarious what do you mean precarious element? What does precarious elements mean? One of the show's most precarious elements is how it handles sexuality and the frequency in which sexual assault is portrayed. Yeah. It's a show that takes place in a medieval fantasy. And it is a seinen manga. Mm-hmm. What do you think is going to happen?
They also live in an unforgiving world.
Yes. Ruled by a god that was manifested by people's desire to have a thing to blame for all the bad that happens to them. And that result ended up creating the idea of evil, and then the idea of evil created the God Hand to perpetuate reasons why bad things happen to people.
still not sure whether I would consider Berserk to be dark fantasy. It's like walking that line somehow.
I mean,
I
at the
think
end
in
of
the
the
beginning
day,
it was like that, but
at
then
the end of
turned
the
into just
day,
fantasy.
it's more of a story about having humanity.
Yeah. Like a lot of talk of self-actualization.
Mm-hmm.
A whole lot of Nietzschean philosophy in there.
That would have been so nice to see the conclusion, like humanity overcoming all this bullshit.
Yes.
But,
Like, no, the idea I had was that like Guts and Co. would find a way to close off Griffith in not the interstice, that's where the overlap in the spiritual world. That he'd find a way to cut off forever Griffith and the God Hand from entering the physical world forever. And Griffith would just be stuck in the spiritual world, able to see it, but never able to actually influence it ever again.
see, that's kind of like very close to like what I had in mind. What I saw is that like he and the God Hand and all the apostles would have been consumed by the void, like the void that we see in the end of the Black Swordsman arc.
Oh yeah, the one that absorbed the Count.
Yeah, the snail count. Yeah.
Did y'all read the final chapter?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was sad.
Yes.
Like
yeah.
like all the cliffhangers that he had released in the past 10 years that I have read, I think that takes the cake. That was just like fuck.
It's one of those like, shit, is Griffith gonna remember this when he goes back or whatever? Like, probably not.
How can he go back from there? Because like essentially he's like stuck in. Because they make it so that the elf kingdom is something that the monsters cannot penetrate, but because Griffith is there, he can pretty much get his armies there now.
Yeah.
Can't he?
Yeah.
Because like the chapters before that, like it was introducing the concept that they can like walk through certain places if they can see a teleportation device that was left by the mages before.
Mm-hmm.
So many interesting stuff. It's never gonna come to fruition.
One of the things one of the things I miss is the opportunity of having Guts get an upgrade to the Berserker armor to put him on the same level as the Skull Knight.
Yeah, I was also looking forward to that.
Fucking White Wolf armor. We'll love that. Anyway. Nearly every character is a survivor of some sort of encounter, and Griffith is no exception. Griffith wasn't sexually assaulted, though. Like, sure, he didn't like submitting himself to Governor Gennon, but it was consensual.
Yeah. It worked out for him in the end.
Yeah.
He got Epsteined.
Griffith later assures the noble he is unmoved by this transaction. It was merely a means to an end, effectively severing his mind from the trauma his body faces. Yeah, that was a facade. That was literally a facade to make Governor Gennon angry right before he stabbed his sword in Gennon's eye and killed him.
Yeah.
Like, how did you miss that? That was literally the best way Griffith could have gotten back at Gennon.
No, this person is gonna say like, oh, they actually had a relationship. They just didn't realize it because like at the time, like it was just taboo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, fuck you.
Like Guts isn't so capable of separating the two. Yeah. Yeah. Because what happened to him was unconsensual when he was a child. And what Griffith went through was consensual when he was an adult. For a specific means to an end. Like, what happened to Guts was just meaningless.
Yes, it was just the big black guy anyway.
Yeah. To Guts, his body is his mind. Huh?
What does that even supposed to mean?
Huh? You just say this shit and you just drop that. You just drop that sentence and then moving on.
Even in the ears is in italic. Why?
I don't understand what this means. What does it mean? God damn. I hate it. These people just say this shit. With no explanation. Like they said they just dropped the most profound fucking thing on the face of the planet. God. Like the pain he feels is always physical. No.
No, there's so many moments in Berserk when you can see that the Guts is like really bothered by past feelings that he had, especially Gambino.
But the first thing I thought of was Teresia saying that she wanted to kill him.
Yes,
Like that's one of the literally the first moment we saw that Guts was not the heartless monster that he wants to portray himself as.
Yeah. Such a nice ending to the chapter.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wait, no, that doesn't exist because the first arc is the Golden Age. So.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right.
we still go by that logic.
God. This is just normie take the article.
Half of this article is just describing like what Berserk is about. Like, yeah, but
and doing a poor job of it.
Extremely poor job. Yeah, half truths all the way.
Like not
but for
even
the common reader would see that like I guess that was Berserk about.
I don't think he's read the manga.
I don't think he has actually seen the anime. To be honest, like he saw put your glasses on. I think we'll be wrong.
And that was it. That was his
that was it. It was like, oh goddamn, this is so funny.
Like this is toxic masculinity, surely. His emotional state stems from his childhood when his adoptive father brutally inducted him into a Gambino was the mercenary leader by default. Where else was Guts going to go?
Yeah.
Like, Guts was found by these people. He had nowhere else to go except to stick with these people.
Yes.
Like, sure, not a good thing.
It was just like a child. Like he was born in front of them.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh.
When his adoptive father brutally inducted him into his own band of mercenaries and later attempted to kill Guts for an accident beyond his control. It's not just that. Not just that. Like, it wasn't just the accident. The fucking Gambino losing his leg was just the last straw. Like, Guts had proven to be a bad omen the entire fucking time. Like, he blamed Guts for Shizu getting the plague. He blamed Guts for, like, daring to strike him while they were in the middle of training.
Yeah.
The anime leaves out a crucial moment where Guts 2 is peddled off to a pedophile in exchange for money.
Wait, is that misspelled? The anime lives out.
Lives off, yeah.
Lives. Oh, it lives. Oh.
Anime lives, yeah. Grammarly. If you cannot figure this shit out, then get Grammarly. Holy fuck.
Spelling. Who needs it?
Oh my god. Perhaps in an attempt to salvage. What? The anime leaves out a crucial segment where Guts 2 is peddled off to a pedophile in exchange for money, perhaps in an attempt to salvage Guts' hyper-masculine image.
Or they cut it out of the anime specifically because at the time the censors in Japan were really bad, and you couldn't show that on TV.
Or
Yes.
maybe they just didn't want to show a little boy getting raped on a show.
That too.
Yes.
Maybe that's the thing that they didn't want.
Mm-hmm. Like even in the movie, I don't think in the movie they showed any of that scene. Oh god, the flashbacks in the movie is so bad. Like
the
it's in
flashbacks
5
are like-
FPS.
Yeah, it's a slideshow of things that happened.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
What are we gonna
Yes.
use the movie budget? Oh, I know.
they wanted to
Nothing.
save Guts' hyper-masculine image by not showing him getting raped as a child.
Regardless of that, like they show enough that like you can put together the image that the Gambino was a horrible father figure for him.
Yes.
Like he really needed to escape. Because I think in the 97 anime they show enough that like Guts escapes from the camp
Mm-hmm.
and then survives somehow. Yeah, and that's about it. But like that's still like holding the main point of like what that story arc was about.
This is perhaps one of the anime's greatest failings as an adaptation of Miura's manga. Though I don't revel in the series' frequent deployment of sexual assault as a means to communicate power imbalances. That's not what that's. No. No. No, no. No, no, no. See, Guts being sold to the pedophile man, that was to show how bad mercenary life is for the weak, and also to illustrate how shitty of a father Gambino is. It's not this power balance bullshit. It's Gambino is a shitty father. Like everything a father should be doing, Gambino does the opposite. Like, you should like love your child. No. Like if your child hurts you, you don't fucking punch him in the face. What did Gambino do? He fucking cut his son across the bridge of his nose with a sword.
Leaving a lasting scar on him.
Yes. You see, when you get drunk and when you get angry with your kids, when you're drunk, you don't fucking try and murder them.
No. Oh, you're gonna love the next line.
Oh, that's gonna wake up Wisp.
Though I don't revel in the series' frequent deployment of sexual assault as a means to communicate power imbalances, this early infringement on Guts' body robs the viewer of a.
Oh, hey, Bears. Zach is here.
Oh shit. Oh.
I'm gonna switch
The Emperor protects.
Yes, he does.
You're gonna get banned by Games Workshop. What's happening, my boy?
Yeah. How you doing?
Been a while.
It has been a while, and I'm upset that I wasn't off work on time.
Oh, first time?
First time? No, it's not the first time. And granted, made a sale, got some commission. It did good. Still got
The work
paid a little extra. Worked 10 hours today, so it's all right.
You
But-
should watch the intro when you get the time.
Yeah. Did you manage to catch the intro?
No, I just walked through the door, sat down on my computer, and got on.
Okay,
you,
well-
you should do it later.
Or fuck it. Do we want to play the intro again just for shits and giggles?
Oh shit!
I'm
Yeah,
just
let's
upset.
do it.
It's the first sloppy seconds in a while. Let's fucking
Do
send it.
it.
Do
Fuck
it.
Whatever.
Do it.
Fucking send it.
Fucking, we're doing the intro again. Fuck it.
Fuck it. We'll do it live.
I jerk off at least twice a day. Once in the morning, right after I work out, and then once right after lunch. I do it because I need to.
Mateus, these are set of skits. Recruit a group of critics with attitude.
You had me as soon as Cedar was a block of cheese. I can't. Oh my God. You are going to get the greatest copyright strike of all time.
Oh, absolutely.
Yep.
You gotta change the song for the love of God.
It's a cover.
It's a cover. It's fine.
Oh my God. And the Megazord is split.
Yeah, boy. Why wouldn't he be?
Of course. The only thing that's missing from him is just is the big
You
ass
weren't kidding
age.
when you said you were gonna make me the black one.
Yeah.
It feels great up here on top. You hear that, audience? I'm finally black. That means I get to say Nick.
And then we get yeeted off of YouTube.
I can't breathe.
Don't go Floyd now, Zach. What the fuck, Axton?
You cannot say that. You can't say that.
Sounds like you did.
Say it again.
Okay. We stopped on this sentence. Though I don't revel in the series' frequent deployment of sexual assault as a means to communicate power imbalances, this early infringement on Guts' body robs the viewer of a queer interpretation for why Guts is so eager to form a lasting, equitable bond with Griffith, and also why he and Casca are so drawn to each other despite their inherent differences.
No.
This is what you brought me from the highest of highs to the fucking what? I just got here.
So the reason why Guts wants to be Griffith's friend is because a black man raped him when he was 6.
No, let me summarize this. Guts was molesturbated as a child, therefore no gay.
Yes.
Fuck you.
Like,
fuck
honestly,
you. Whoever wrote this, fuck you. Actually, no. You did fucking not say because Guts was sexually assaulted means no gay. Wait, form long-lasting, equitable bond with Griffith.
We didn't.
And why Casca and he are so drawn to each other. No!
Maybe it's the fact that it couldn't possibly be the fact that Guts is constantly saving Casca's life at a hindrance to himself. always putting
Literally
himself
at his
out there.
almost death.
Yes. Like, how many fucking times?
Too many to count.
Listen.
Yeah.
All right, listen. Just because. Okay. Does sexual assault affect you?
Yes.
Absolutely. Are you forever fucking scarred and fucked up for the rest of your life?
Yes.
Unless you go through some serious therapy, which Guts has not.
And even then,
You are still fucked. You are still half fucked. Both in, pun
Three-quarter.
intended, yet
Three-quarter.
unintended. You are still a quarter fucked, pun intended, by being molested as a child. Now, it is explained, and well, not even explained, it is shown very clearly in the show why Guts doesn't have a good bond with Griffith. He doesn't have a healthy relationship with Griffith because he is constantly putting Griffith's greatness above his own needs. Pedo rape equals no gay. Thank you for summarizing my point. Right? It is that is why it is that is why he doesn't have that kind of a friendship with Griffith. It's explained very clearly. Very clearly. Right? I don't revel in this series' frequent deployment of sexual assault as a means to communicate power imbalances. Is that something you're supposed to revel in? Jesus Christ. If that is something that you feel tempted to revel in,
and also, like,
God bless you, and nomine patris spiritus sancti. You good fucking luck out there, champ. I don't know what to tell you. You're fucking weird.
By the fact that we didn't get that because people could interpret Guts as being gay for Griffith. If
Now
Griffith,
is this actually saying why Guts isn't gay for Griffith, or is it, or because it uses very, very, very unclear language here? But by saying, yes, I get it. Now, is it equitable bond with Griffith? Long lasting. Sorry.
The early
Guts
infringement on Guts' body robs the viewer of a queer interpretation for why Guts is so eager to form a
of a queer interpretation. Sorry, I was focusing on the last bit. Jesus fucking Christ.
Right, so this is literally saying, like, if we had seen Guts get raped as a child, then we could have interpreted that rape, childhood rape, as a reason for why Guts wants to be Griffith's friend.
Yeah, except for the fact that he's with Casca and doesn't.
Yes.
In fact, prior to Casca, we are shown no romantic. What's the word I'm looking for? Implication from Guts, as in he does. It's implied that he just doesn't feel romantic love.
That's one part of his character in the middle of the story. That, like, he describes it to the.
He just doesn't feel romantic love.
Like, and he is looking for something else to his life.
He wants fulfillment.
That's the whole reason why he left
instead of just lifting somebody up, he wants fulfillment. That's why he leaves.
Yeah.
So, like, actually,
oh my God!
You say that, but like somebody in an article, I think regarding Mass Effect, it was an article about Jack from Mass Effect 2. And they were talking. This writer specifically said that sexuality is malleable, which means conversion therapy is a thing.
No. Number one, that's fucking hilarious. Number two, congratulations, you played yourself. All right.
Yes.
Because if you're gonna look at something logically, you have to play it both ways, and it's like racism or sexism or any other bad horrific thing out there. If it's possible for a white person to be racist to a black person, then it's possible for a black person to be racist to a white person. If it's possible for a man to be sexist towards a woman, it's possible for a woman to be sexist towards a man. If it's not possible, you have to completely change the definitions of racism and sexism, which the ADL is working really hard on. But you have to completely change these definitions. Like, this person is so up their own fucking ass with the whole LGBT ideology that they can't see.
Why Gus and Casca are together? Oh, is it because he had sex with a black person?
Is it maybe? Is it maybe?
Is that
and hear me out. And hear me out. Is it maybe that they've gone through so many near-death experiences with each other and have been together for so many years that they were just naturally drawn to each other?
A black guy raped him. No, that's the reason why he's with Casca.
He wanted to get revenge on the black race by fucking a black woman. This'll show him.
Yes, it does.
Jesus Christ, dude. Like, that is such a tonally deaf statement. Like, you are deaf to the world around you. Berserk has serious problems with misogyny and its portrayal of women. Yes, Casca, one of the strongest, strongest female characters, gets nearly raped by 4 big fucking dudes.
And she stabs, and instead of like submitting, she picks up a fucking twig and stabs the guy in the eye.
And she's badass for it. Yeah, 4 big burly motherfuckers come by and try to get Bear. I'm putting $100,000 on the big burly motherfuckers that Bear's gonna get booty touched. All right, I'm sorry, Bear. You at 6'3", 280 pounds. I don't know what you are in your fucking bear form, but you at 6'3", 280 pounds, you're getting booty touched. I'm sorry.
Yeah, if I stay in bed.
Let alone Casca.
But she still managed to get out. And
she would put up more of a fight than you, because as we both know, you're super gay and you would love it.
Yeah.
Anyway, she puts up a fucking fight.
Mm-hmm.
And how is this?
This is all while she's having a period that is giving her a very high fever that had just broken.
No, it's not that. It's that she was on her period during a fight. Not fighting at full capacity.
Still managed to kill like 5 guys before.
Still managed to kill a bunch of motherfuckers. Got poisoned. Fell off a cliff. Was nursed back to health a little bit. And then had to fight for her fucking life again.
After going on a forced march uphill in a forest at night.
Yes. Still fucking badass. Still fucking put up a fight. And you're calling this sexist?
I think, okay, I haven't read the rest of this. I think he's going to be like, well, like, Guts got raped, but he kept his sanity. But Casca saw all of her friends and comrades get eaten alive and, brutalized by demons, and then raped by the very man that gave her the strength to defend herself, who had been her idol since she was a child. And that broke her mind, and that's misogynistic.
That's misogynistic. Not to mention, like, she got the worst of it. She got the fucking worst of it. Everybody else got to die. Everybody else got to die.
Well, okay, we'll just say Casca and Gus got it in equal measure.
Equally raped?
I don't think Guts got raped during the eclipse. I'm going to be real.
I think Guts had to cut his own arm off and lost an eye. Guts had to cut his own arm off with the blunt side of a broken sword.
Again.
And got his eye
raped
cut.
by a demon.
I think
had to watch one of his most beloved person get raped instead.
Yeah, by the best friend that he had been trying to save. Right. And this all happened. This all happened
in equal measure. I'll agree to they got it in equal measure.
Yeah. By the way, like, that whole thing fucking happened because Guts left because he took Griffith at his word.
Wait, no, sorry.
Like, Guts took Griffith at his word and saying that for someone to be my friend, they would have to find a dream, outside of me and be willing to oppose me, even if it came to that. So Guts did, and Griffith went batshit insane because of it. Because Griffith was talking out of his ass.
Yeah, but like one more thing about like equal measures for the eclipse happenings. I think Guts was like so fucking angry that like his mind just doesn't break as Casca's.
Yeah, he broke.
It breaks in different ways.
Yeah, he broke
It
in a
breaks
very
in
different-
murder
yes,
ways.
Yes.
All he can see is just murder demon.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he can't fucking sleep peacefully.
Yeah,
Like, he gets, like,
I
a
think
couple
once
hours a
Guts is
week.
mad enough, all he can think of is just the words "that bitch, that bitch."
Literally though, like to the point where that side of him was forming as a demonic hound in his mind.
That motherfucker over there, get him. That's it. That's all is going on in his brain. Kill that bitch.
Or hi doggy.
Hi doggy.
Oh, hi, doggy. Okay. She's also one of the. How do you
This
say
is
that?
stupid. All right.
Berserk has a problem with misogyny.
I'll be honest.
Casca
Berserk has
is
a
a prime
serious problem with
example.
misogyny and
She's also one
portrayal
of
of its
Berserk's
women.
greatest. He's also one of Berserk's greatest characters.
Well, in the same breath, same paragraph. Anyway, so Berserk has a serious problem with misogyny and its portrayal of women. Blah blah blah. She's also one of Berserk's greatest characters. Okay, so pick one.
Mm-hmm.
Does it have a problem with misogyny and its portrayal of female characters, or is she one of the greatest characters?
How can you even like do that kind of dark fantasy
Like-
setting if like those female characters are never get hurt? Oh,
And also,
great.
like, we have 2 more female characters that join Guts
Yes.
after.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, after the Black Swordsman arc.
I've got to
You
be
get
honest. One thing I appreciated Berserk for was an accurate portrayal of women.
Mhm.
That they can be the biggest badass in the world, but they're still going to get overpowered by a male. Like
Mhm.
like a woman can be at the peak of her physical prowess, and more than likely can get absolutely stomped by an above average male.
Yeah. Like,
Yes, and,
one
like,
of the
we
best
saw-
things about the relationship between Guts and Casca. But yeah.
Like, and we saw how she fights, like, in great detail in the preamble to the 100-man Slayer fight. Like, she doesn't just go at guys trying to go at. She dodges around them and cuts arteries and just lets them bleed out.
Yeah, smart, because she recognizes her own limitations.
Yes.
So she has to fight in a different way, which makes her stronger in other aspects, as in
Mhm.
big brain, tactician,
Mhm.
which is good. That's a good thing. Men and women are physically different, so they can have different strengths and yet still be on equal ground. You can be on equal ground in unequal measures, whereas Guts can rely solely on the fact that he's a big hulking hunk of meat and anger with a big fuck off sword,
Mm-hmm.
versus Casca, who has to play it smart and can still be just as deadly.
Like, and fuck, in her fight with Guts when he came back. Like, sure, like, Guts is able to beat her because at that point he's even better than Griffith. But at the beginning of it, like, she was specifically targeting his right hand because, you know, when Guts sheaths the sword, it's on his back. So she knows he has to reach back for that thing. And that makes him vulnerable. That whole reach back thing. But she was constantly stabbing at where his hand was going. Like, keeping him from drawing his weapon.
Yes. It's great. That is, if you can neutralize your opponent, you are stronger than your opponent. And doesn't matter how you fucking do it. That's what I'm talking about. You can be on equal ground in unequal measures.
Mm-hmm.
The strongest woman is not going to be as strong as the strongest man. It's just not happening. We can prove this quantifiably time and time again.
And also, like, Casca is a better, like, commander of men than Guts is. Like Guts is no slouch in the command department, but like everything about him is, all right, hit the enemy as hard as you fucking can.
Everything
Actually-
about Guts is clang.
Actually, you guys hold back. I'm gonna hit the enemy as hard as I
Clang.
fucking can, and then you guys can come around me if I signal like that I'm possibly getting overwhelmed. Maybe if I remember.
Clang.
That's why he went solo in the Black Swordsman arc and the
Yes.
Inquisition arc, because he understood that like no matter like what he does, people are gonna die around him because they're just not as good in battle as he is.
Yes, but we eventually get the ones that are. It was like
Yes.
this is really good.
He
Two of
finally
them-
accepts that fact that he needs to also
Yes.
come at other
Like-
friends. Yeah.
And guess what? Like one of the people that he picks up is massively more powerful than he is.
Clang.
And that person that's massively more powerful than he is a little girl.
Yes.
Like
It's terrible
She has-
portrayal of women, by the way.
yeah, terrible portrayal of women. By the way, the strongest person in the group is a woman. Is a little girl.
It's a little girl.
A little girl who is training somebody else to become magical. And like we finally got the reveal that Farnese is potentially one of the most powerful mages as soon as she gets any kind of training under her belt. And is
Yeah.
doing that in spite of being like too, by their definition, too old to even begin magical training.
Oh, are we playing by Star Wars rules now?
No, because Kentaro Miura was keeping it accurate,
Yeah.
keeping it consistent.
Alright.
Right? So we're going to have two female mages that, in terms of sheer fucking power, outmatch Guts even in the Berserker armor. Now, the only reason why Guts is still around is because magic in Berserk takes a long fucking time to wind up. And that wind up time leaves them exposed. Like in like with the ogre fight. Like sure, the ogres and the trolls can't get past their force field, but the ogres and the trolls can throw non-magical shit through the force field and fuck her up.
Yeah.
That's when you need a Guts.
Hey, Cyrus.
Yeah,
I just want you to know I love the meme you posted in D&D memes.
you're welcome.
Winger!
Matt Wenger, misogyny.
Hey,
yes,
Wenger.
I am.
Like
I am the misogyny.
This is my old buddy Matt Winger from the Wangcast.
Wang.
Good times.
Wang. Clang.
Mhm.
Hold on, wait. I don't have the clang on my soundboard.
Please don't. Please don't
Oh,
ever get
please.
that on your
No,
soundboard.
no.
Never get that on your soundboard.
Why are you
Don't.
telling me not to have that on my soundboard? Why would
Because
I?
we don't wanna
Why?
hear it.
Why? What's wrong?
It reminds us of a terrible interpretation of the series.
Oh, what's wrong? What's wrong? Everything's fine.
Everything about the setting of Berserk seems to imply that it's no place for a woman. Even Guts says as much, decrying her place within the Band of the Hawk despite her unwavering dedication to the company. That was him fucking with her to get her pissed off.
Guts clang 1 hour.
No.
No.
When Guts said this, it was when she was on her knees falling over. They had to march back to the main camp of the Band of the Hawk. Otherwise, they were going to get ambushed and killed by the men that were following them. Now, the easiest way to get Casca to do something is to piss her off.
So you mean it's kind of like they build up camaraderie and
Yes.
understand each other's flaws to be able to push each other to get them to do the thing that they want them to do?
Yes.
Maybe.
It's
Yeah.
almost like that.
Hey,
It's
Bear.
almost, yeah.
Tell me why extended 1 hour.
Tell me what you say. Don't know why, don't know why you say.
And the picture is just Guts with grass sunglasses on.
Grass
The
glasses.
grass is sound. It's hard to say. It's hard to say the show ever truly transcends this opinion, and Casca's existence as an object of Guts' affection is used as a weapon by
Object?
Griffith.
Object.
Yes.
The The show does everything but objectify her.
But the show's misogynistic, but he calls Casca an object, even though everyone in the show sees Casca as this
I'm here trying to put the clang.mp3 on my fucking soundboard, and all I heard was Casca and object. Fuck you. Fuck you. You're putting things that aren't in the show and trying to force them into the show. For the manga. Sorry.
We cannot hurt these characters because then they're gonna have bad things happening to them.
Dude, fuck you.
This is the kind of thing that essentially is going to make it so that only straight white men have interesting stories told about them.
Isn't that the case already?
When you remove the ability for women and non-whites to experience any kind of struggle, to have any kind of flaws, they are going to be boring. Which means by default...
Like, Casca is also a dark-skinned woman.
Yes.
That's interesting. So, no.
Just checking two boxes.
Also tomboy.
Yes. Short-haired tomboy GF, yes.
All right. Hey, can I have everybody's attention real quick?
Clang.
No. As soon as it went off.
It was nice knowing you, Gazak.
Berserk, yeah.
Berserk.
The show preys on essentialist notions of gender, implying Guts could never truly understand Casca because he doesn't have to deal with women troubles. He was saying that to get her pissed off, specifically so that she would get moving so that they would not get ambushed.
Isn't Casca Italian? I don't know. No, there are those countries do not exist in Berserk.
You're a dirty fucking and I hope you get Jordan with a fucking spoon.
You hope I get Jordan Peterson with a spoon? Because he doesn't have a uterus, he's supposedly incapable of empathizing with her. You're retarded. And you
Everything
need to...
that Guts does after the eclipse is for Casca.
They fucking
he
hold...
goes on a rampage for 2 years
I
just to hunt
remember
down the Apostoles.
I remember the scene he's referencing. He said all this, Casca got to her feet, started marching ahead of him, and then the fucking show hangs on Guts, looking at her with a smirk on his face. He doesn't mean any of that shit. How do you not understand what the fuck that was?
They've never actually had a meaningful relationship with somebody?
Yes.
That's gotta be it. Like,
Nigga!
No, this motherfucker, like you said earlier, the quickest way to get Costco to do something is to piss her off and tell her she's weak.
Yes.
And
Hey, Costco, can I please get a sandwich? Hey, fuck you! I'm not making you a fucking sandwich. Nah, your sandwiches probably suck anyway, you dirty bitch.
Here, take my
Motherfucker, I'll
fucking
fucking make
sandwich.
you best fucking sandwich you ever.
and then she would, and then she would, and then she fucking would make the
And
best.
then she
fucking
would,
sandwich on
and
the
then she would
planet.
stab you in the throat while you eat it. She turns around to the rest of the band of the Hawk. What? He called me a dirty bitch. They're like, oh, understandable, dirty bitch.
Oh no.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. 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 Break the chain. Break the chain. Tyler Preston, break the chain. Somebody save us.
It's too late.
We can't get banned. No. No.
Niggy.
You fuck.
Niggy.
Nigga. Is that a new JoJo character?
Is this a JoJo reference?
Nikit?
Hey, is a JoJo reference?
No.
Oh.
No.
Wait, the Quang isn't a JoJo reference? Are you sure?
Yes.
That's a shock. Not the forbidden word. Forbidden word. Thank you, Tyler Preston with T. I appreciate you. Oh no! Don't you start it back up, Western. No, you stop that. Don't make me come over there. I miss Sai. No.
I gotta put.
Anyway. Berserk's world very much operates on the structural.
What?
Name the times.
Okay,
It works,
we're gonna
it
try
works
to
on the structural exchange of women. The only time anyone ever exchanged themselves was when a man exchanged himself to an old gross man.
Okay. Now, Berserk's world very much operates on the structural exchange of women. Now, reading the rest of it, when Guts abandons the Hawks, Griffith copes with his grief, as well as his loss of ownership. I guess that's kind of accurate, actually. His loss of ownership. By seducing Prince Charlotte.
Yes.
This is a manner of establishing masculine status. That Griffith is still dominant despite his loss, and that his feelings for Guts are nothing in the face of sexual capital. You had me, then you lost me.
No, like Guts, the feelings for Guts are nothing in the face of his dream.
And he just lost his most powerful most powerful card.
Charlotte was the gateway to his dream. As soon as the king died,
his best card to play, his trump card, Guts.
Like when Princess Casca or Princess Charlotte was going.
Princess Casca.
Princess Casca. She's a princess in my fucking heart. All right. All right. Princess Charlotte was going to fucking marry Griffith. She was in love with him. All they needed to do was wait for the king to fucking die, which he did 2 years later.
Hey, there's a great point in the chat that you need to look at.
Yes. Okay, so that is 2 examples of Berserk's world operating on the structural exchange of men.
Oh no. Oh no.
How many? So the structural exchange of women is you made that up. It was fake. We lied. We made it up.
We made it up. Riot came up with this.
What's his name again?
Jonathan
Frakes. There we go.
There was a whole meme about it in D&D memes.
Yes, we lied. We made it up.
That's false.
Can you back that up with a source? My sources, I made it the fuck up.
In the end.
In the end, I realized. Anyway, before we get copyright stricken for my flawless execution of that song, this is what leads to Griffith's assault.
No.
What? Where? You made that up.
No.
You made that up. Okay, yeah, we don't need to explore that. They made it up, so we can just move on.
Griffith is signaling his own invasion on Guts through Casca. That's
what?
That is accurate.
Yes.
That is somewhat accurate.
Congratulations. Woo! They said something truthful!
Like, that's somewhat accurate. Griffith didn't want to rape Guts because if he wanted to rape Guts in the eclipse, he would have done it, and there would have been nobody that could have stopped him.
And that's also signaled, by the way, Griffith looked Guts in the fucking eye the entire time.
Yes.
While he was doing it. Yes.
Glad to see that the writer of this article understood that.
Oh yeah, I forgot that Griffith also exchanged himself to a wealthy man in order to get money or resources. Yes, Tyler Preston, you are very base.
Yeah, that's what the first thing I was talking about.
This is, of course, a highly problematic, you lost me, a problematic way to communicate.
Griffith raped Casca because he's a gay.
Dude.
Highly problematic way.
Do we have to explore that?
What, are you retarded?
Exactly.
Do we have to explore that? Can we move on?
Yes, please.
Okay, cool. That you made that up. You're putting things rape women because gayism. Correct. Moving on. Mira's strategies to illustrate Guts and Griffith's relationship are evocative but troublesome. In the enemy's quieter moments, though, their tension is... Dude, you're just making shit up! When they... God, you can't see anything without the lens of LGBT, can you? Sometimes, and hear me out, things are the way they are. Sometimes the thing on the screen is the thing on the screen. Sometimes what the characters are saying is what the characters are saying. The characters mean what they say. Sometimes, most of the time, that fucking happens. You know why? Because you get fucking brainlets like you that want to interpret the curtains being blue means gay. That's what we get. This is what we get. This is why everything has to be spelled out in modern fucking media. We can't infer anything. We can't get quiet moments in shows anymore. We can't have anything marinate on screen anymore. Because you look at two males in the same frame as each other and go,
they fuck.
Hey, they're gay!
Are they gay? Are they gay?
Yeah, that's all you fucking see, dude. And I want to talk to you. Like, whoever wrote this stupid fucking essay, I want to just sit down and I just want to talk about Berserk with you.
Question one. Have you ever had a friend in your life?
Have you ever had a friend of the males? Sorry, I don't want to assume your fucking gender. Have you ever had a fucking friend of the same gender identity as you and not felt sexual tension? If you haven't, I am so fucking sorry that you are repressing some childhood memories. And I wish you the best of fucking luck. You need to go to therapy to work this shit out. Because you do not know what the fuck a friend is. You don't recognize platonic love. You don't. I have a lot of platonic love for Sai, for Mark, for Mark. I have a lot of platonic love. And you don't fucking know what that is.
Wait, Zach, it's only platonic? Damn, I thought we really had something.
That night behind the bleachers doesn't fucking count, Navyman.
Listen, he was just trying to join the Navy. He ended up not being able to make it.
I didn't meet the recruitment standards because I could only keep it up for 5 minutes.
Yeah, keeping it up for 2 hours is kind of hard.
Same, Wenger. Love you, buddy. Oh God! In the anime's quieter moments, though their tension is palpable when they talk of the future in mid-autumn as leaves flit past Griffith's flowing.
What?
Are they talking? No, they were not talking about the future in that scene. They were specifically talking about the past. That time when they both got fucked up by a demon goat bear lion with wings.
Yes.
And Guts asked, "Hey, why did you almost sacrifice your life to protect one guy?" And Griffith goes like, I did it because I felt like it. Are you gonna keep asking me this whenever I fucking like attempt to save your life?
Yes, I am.
It was literally like Griffith is his friend, even though Griffith doesn't want to fucking acknowledge it because he never self-actualizes ever, which is his main flaw.
In the anime's quieter moments, though, their tension is palpable when they talk of the future in mid-autumn as leaves flit past Griffith's flowing hair.
That is
Or
him.
when Guts muses on the bonfire of dreams that he can only sit by and rest and never kindle.
No,
Listen, dude, you can only... Hold on. This guy is still... This person. I seriously don't actually know who wrote this. I don't know their name or whatever.
It's at the bottom of this article.
Okay, if it's a guy, then I'll use male pronouns because gotta be fucking correct now.
He's called Austin, so
Austin, Texas here can only ever see life and the world through the lens of LGBTQ. This is fucking stupid. And I'll reiterate my point again, that you see leaves flit past Griffith's flowing hair, and instead of being a stylized, neat little frame or neat little scene that looks nice and makes the world feel alive, you go, those leaves represent the gay.
No, it's because he saw that and wanted to fuck Griffith. So obviously Guts saw that and wanted to fuck Griffith.
Maybe, but that those leaves going past Griffith's hair can only mean to the gay to this guy. It can only mean that. Instead of being a stylistic choice, it has to be a symbol of their romantic tension.
And to the second point, the bonfire of dreams. That was in no way talking of any kind of anything. That was Guts musing on the fact that even though he's being praised for killing 100 guys, in comparison to what Griffith is trying to do and what everyone in his band, and specifically, he mentioned like 3 guys in the Hawks Raiders by name that are fighting and throwing themselves into battle, life and death battle, in pursuit of a dream. And he doesn't have one. All he does is swing his sword and stay alive. Like, that is the only fucking thing he does, and he regrets it. Like, he's finally, realizing, hey, I never got to figure out who I am and what I want, because I've always been, day in, day out, damn near, in life and death situations. All I've done was fight so that I can live till tomorrow so I can fight. Everybody else has a dream except me.
If this guy's gonna misinterpret that as, he got bored and after 1 year he realized that he needs to fuck Griffith.
Yeah,
no, this is him
he realized in that moment after surviving the 100-man fight, it's not that he didn't have any dreams or any self-fulfillment of his own. He realized that, man, I never got to taste man dick. Man, life sure is empty without a hot cock in my ass.
I'm so buff, I just can't experience it anymore.
Which is, how fucking empty is that?
2.
How fucking useless, empty. How fucking worthless and empty is that interpretation?
I never realized that I was gay. Dreams. Maybe I should go off and discover my gay. Versus, I never realized that I was fighting day in and day out just to live to fight day in and day out. I need to figure out who the fuck I am, what I love in the world, and what I would like to do. Fucking worthless. Your words are worthless, essay writer. Get better words.
It's easy to understand why Guts, propelled by Griffith, feels such an intense wanderlust. He looks to Griffith as an ideal, a person who possesses what he can never have. No.
It's not that what he can never have, it's what he doesn't have. And that's a dream.
Yes. Like something to strive for beyond survival.
Yeah.
Like the actual reason in the show and in the manga is Guts doesn't have a reason to breathe. If he dies on the battlefield, nothing's lost. Right?
That would be a marked improvement to what we just got, Matthias. Not gonna lie.
At least it would go somewhere.
So literally, Guts doesn't have a reason to draw his next breath beyond Clang. That is horrific. Versus Guts leaves Griffith because unrequited gay.
Which could have easily been requited if he had just fucking stayed.
Ugh.
I just realized that he wrote this article right after Mirror died, so it's
good.
just a cash grab.
You motherfucker.
Oh, good. Griffith's
So
followers...
now it really does feel like a cash grab. Yeah, you're right. You're fucking right. It feels like a clickbait. Congratulations. I'm not saying that's what you did, essay writer, Austin, Texas man. But oh my god, the gun is smoking and the shoe looks like it'll fit.
Griffith's followers see him as infallible, and Griffith does everything in his power to live up to such a lofty station.
Not really. He just kind of does.
Yes.
It's just that he is kind of flawless.
Like, the only person that ever caught him, like, in any kind of weakened state were Casca and Guts.
And not to mention the rapey pedo that he killed.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Well, you know.
By the time of his betrayal, he's become as downtrodden as it gets, physically frail, mentally broken, and unable to fight.
Yes, that is a true sentence in this word soup of a fucking essay.
He's forced into a position of gendered violence in which
you motherfucker
are forcibly stripped from him.
You motherfucker. Forced into a position of gendered violence in which his masculine traits are forcibly stripped of him. In a way, you are correct, just looking at it through the wrong lens.
Like, that is correct, but also fucking hair.
You're missing the point.
That is a fucking hair.
Is there ungendered violence?
You're missing the fucking point.
Yes, by a fucking mile.
Like you're trying to frame this in a narrative that is in no way the intention. And we can cry death of the author all fucking day. But this is supported by the text. This intention is supported by the text. All right? His fucking intention is not supported by the text because there is no gendered what's the word I'm looking for? I guess a gendered framework is not supported by the fucking text.
Especially
what is it being attacked? What is being attacked is Griffith's strength. He is being tortured. Why? Because the king is a vindictive motherfucker.
After his rebirth, one of his first acts is...
Oh, is that what we're calling it? Rebirth?
I mean,
we're calling it a rebirth?
Well, it is accurate. He is reborn as a femto.
I don't want to call it a rebirth.
It's accurate.
I guess. I mean, don't like it.
He fucking cracked out of an egg, Zach. What do you want?
It's not wrong.
I still don't like it.
The Bailet is called the egg of the king, Zach.
I don't like it.
After his rebirth, one of his first acts is one of sexual invincibility. He's no longer a person that has to trade his body as a means to an end and can instead force his will onto others without consent. Like,
Oh wait,
Yes.
like Zach, you don't know the
Again,
scene because like it's
again-
not the Eclipse one, but instead the one where in the which arc was that
the
called?
conviction end of the conviction arc.
Because he is born from an egg back to the real
Yes.
world. Because
Yes.
at the end of the Eclipse, he still stays in that different dimension,
The astral
and
realm.
to
yeah.
get back to the human world, he needs like a new body.
Yeah.
So he uses Guts and Casca's kid.
Yes.
Now, Bear, what you said earlier, you are about a mile wide and an inch deep.
Yes.
Like, dear God, dude, it's such a wide fucking net, and yet you're trying to frame this in a way that is not supported by the text. You don't need. All right, I'm reading 12 Rules for Life right now,
Yep.
as you all know.
Roughly
But I
speaking.
can't stop talking about it. I have to show off how smart I am. So I'm reading, everybody. I read.
Reading Canadian books.
I'm reading Canadians. Okay, I'm reading. So in there's a great little quote or a great little paragraph about ideologies and how dangerous ideologies are. Ideologies are a framework that you can fit over yourself, and you are free of critical thinking. You have this framework. You think inside this box. Everything is through these lenses. Think this way. Think within this framework, and then everything is going to be great. This is how the world should work. That is an ideology. Versus freedom of thought. Freedom of thought meaning you weigh every single issue. You build your own worldview brick by motherfucking brick instead of taking a framework and the bricks that come with it, the ideology. You weigh every issue on its merits. That's free thinking. This guy is thinking through the lens of an ideology and can only see through the lens of that ideology. So everything in the world has to fit that ideology. When you take a text and you draw conclusions such as the curtains mean depression versus what is actually supported by the text, the curtains are fucking blue. You are a numbskull. You are a nincompoop. You are a nonsense person, and you need to rethink and reframe your view of the world. Because if this is all you can see through, I feel fucking horrifically bad for you.
He becomes a warped version of the supreme ruler he wished to be as a child. With power comes submission, and Griffith's ideals don't allow for his subjects to disobey him. Like, that's accurate, sure.
Oh, we're almost done.
He become. I'm sorry. I need to read that one more time. Becomes a warped version of the supreme ruler he wished to be as a child.
He doesn't become. Well, I will disagree in the fact that he said a warped version. No, he becomes a supernaturally powerful version of the supreme ruler.
I would say. I wouldn't say warped. I wouldn't say supernatural. I would say a monstrous, twisted version. I wouldn't say warped. I would say monstrous and twisted. Because he didn't see himself in the rape castle. He saw himself in the shining white castle, eating the tiny little cheeseburgers and everything.
Yes. I have two number 9.
I'll have 2 number 9s, a number 9 large.
Number 6 with extra dip.
And
By the end of the anime, Griffith has become much like. No.
No.
What, are you retarded?
Can't be fucking real.
That's hold on. There we go. And just for the extra schoolyard bully effect, cover your ears. I'm gonna throw a dodgeball at your head, Austin Jones, because you weren't bullied enough.
How do you write that?
I mean, I guess we can break that down. Okay.
There's nothing to break down, Zach.
Let's dismantle the point. Hold on.
There's nothing. What? How are we gonna dismantle?
Let's dismantle it. Let's prove it bit by bit.
Zach,
how many eyes does Griffith have?
No, Zach. How are we gonna dismantle a fucking ground zero of Hiroshima?
No, how many eyes does Griffith have? How many eyes does Griffith have?
Oh, okay.
How many hands does Griffith have? How many rapes has Guts committed?
Well, no. How many hands does Griffith have? More than Guts.
Yeah. So how many eyes does Griffith have?
More than Guts.
How many rapes has Guts committed?
0.
Less than Griffith's.
Less than Griffith. 1 to 0. Yes, less.
Well, one to half.
What's the half?
Like, there was a time when he first was traveling with Casca, and like his fucking, like the fucking, the dark side of him was taking over. And he did assault her, but he stopped himself.
Not really a rape. I'm speaking more in terms
then
of
felt
rape.
ashamed
Not
for
cool.
it. For,
Definitely not cool. Definitely a sexual assault, but we'll let that go in this context. Oh God, no! Hope nobody clips that. Anyway, we'll let the rape go. It's fine. Oh God, hope nobody clips that. So Guts hasn't forsaken his friend. Guts hasn't thrown away everything in the chase for power. Guts has fought his fucking ass off to save himself and his friends all throughout the eclipse. Griffith has sacrificed his friends and his love. That's a big thing too. He's not only sacrificed his friends, he sacrificed the love they had for him and his love for them.
Like straight up said right before he hatched, like, this is the last teardrop I will ever shed.
So they are as far apart as two people can be, both physically and, I guess, emotionally, spiritually.
Yes, physically, mentally, and emotionally. In every way that matters, Guts and Griffith are the exact opposite.
I've already read Meditations, Matthias.
That opposition only grows wider after the eclipse.
Yeah, because he boinked Casca.
Yeah.
He's so disconnected from his body that he refuses to take responsibility. Yeah, because he's a demon. Anyway,
yes.
He doesn't care about those responsibilities. He just wants to achieve his dream. That's what
which he did.
Griffith is about.
Which he did.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So he swallows the shame and guilt associated with the hundreds of deaths made in his name. More like thousands, but go off. In his name like a bitter pill and looks towards the future. You are putting a very optimistic spin on murder rape.
Very optimistic.
This is an incredibly optimistic, like, gotta look on the bright side of life spin on murder rape. Yes. Like it is as murder rape, everything bad you could ever think of type of shit.
Like, it's one of the fucking biggest flaws in the argument that Griffith, if he hadn't been if he had actually self-actualized at any point, he would have realized that the Godham were manipulating him. Because, like, aside from his enemies, the people that fought under his banner signed up for that, knowing full well that they could die on the battlefield. The Band of the Hawk that were sacrificed in the eclipse didn't realize that that was going to be the end result of their lives. Because if they had, they probably wouldn't have signed up for it. There is a massive difference between fighting an enemy and being paid for it. And being fucking murder raped in a fucking tornado of demons.
Hurricane, but go off.
I see no difference.
I do. One's
I
big,
see.
one's local.
I see Austin's point.
Man,
Lord have
fuck this
mercy.
guy. Guts, on the other hand, realizes what he ultimately seeks is a commute.
No, his dream is to be a duelist.
This
He wants to go around.
motherfucker.
He wants to go around.
This motherfucker missed the point entirely. If you couldn't get this, I got nothing for you, Austin Jones, writer with eclectic media interests.
Now,
Bastard brother of Alex Jones.
At the same time,
The soy brother of Alex Jones.
At the same time, sure, Guts realized that he threw away the Band of the Hawk, a group of people that he had come to realize was like family to him. And it contained the woman he loved and his best friend. Right?
And you know what? And you know what you could interpret? You could interpret that his true desire, his true calling, the true thing that he wants is to protect the people he loves.
Yes.
That is an interpretation that is not directly said in the text, but is supported by the text. Not your gay little fucking lens.
Zach, time out. It is directly said in the text because...
Oh, well, fuck me! God, if you can't get that, if it's directly fucking said, because I can't remember because I've only seen Berserk once, but if you can't get that and have to say, hey, what's the big community? Fuck you.
It is said directly by the Skull Knight that Guts, at a certain point, he said, like, you're standing at a fork in the road. You need to decide whether you are going to continue down the path of vengeance or you're going to be the protector of the people you love. Now, this guy would have known this if he wasn't a fucking normie and actually read the fucking manga.
Well,
but he's not, so he doesn't fucking
In
know.
the spirit of fairness, he's only talking about the anime here. In the spirit of fairness, he has only been talking about the anime.
In the spirit of fairness, Guts said that his dream was to constantly find stronger and stronger enemies, to push himself to become the greatest swordsman that has ever lived. Now, he didn't have to throw away the Band of the Hawk to do that. That was the mistake he made. Like, he could have been a duelist and constantly pushed himself to increase his skill in swordsmanship without leaving the Band of the Hawk. That was the mistake.
Oh my fucking god.
His dream is not to be with the Band of the Hawk. Like, it's a good thing that he definitely needs a support network, but his dream was at the time to improve his skill.
I just read the last paragraph.
Oh, jeez.
We got a bot. Vorred.
Yeah, it's a Russian bot.
Make gatekeeping great again.
Yes.
Yes.
I agree, ma'am. Anyway, I won't read the last paragraph, but Jesus Christ, fuck. He was always a part of one, really, within the Band of the Hawks. But go off. But his emotional immaturity. I guess you could call it emotional immaturity if you want to talk like a fucking middle schooler.
It wasn't really emotional immaturity, is that he doesn't understand his emotions at all.
Yeah, so emotional immaturity, but this guy is his vocabulary is that of a fucking middle school SJW, so he has to use emotional immaturity. You could expound on that. You could fucking expand on that. Austin Jones, eclectic media interest writer, but no, you use this really boring, nothing burger word, emotional immaturity. That is such a simplistic way to look at Guts as a person.
Like, it's not. When I think of emotional immaturity, I think of people that have had the opportunity to emotionally immature. They just never did. Guts has never had the chance to mature emotionally. He's never had a chance to explore who he is,
Absolutely
what he
not.
likes, what he dislikes.
Maybe
I'll be
like
right
his
back, I'm
short
gonna get a
time at the
drink.
Band of the Hawk was like good for him, but really like the only time when he could really like call people his friends was like much later in the story when he makes that new group of friends.
Mm-hmm.
I miss Pippin.
Yeah. Both of these men are, in a word, toxic.
No.
No.
They like to throw that word out there, don't they?
And slaves to their own masculine ideals and preoccupations. Like, excuse me, can we go back to like what kind of life Guts had to live?
I hurt myself today to see if I could feel.
Guts is only like showing that like he's like a tough, like emotionless person, but deep down, like he really cares about everyone around him. He doesn't
Which
want
is-
to like kill off like people meaninglessly. And
Which is one reason that he goes out of his way whenever he can to help and save people.
and doesn't want to be around them during the nighttime because then they're gonna fucking die.
Both
I mean,
of these men are, in a word, toxic. Fuck you.
Like, that's why Guts, when he was the leader of the Hawks Raiders, always rode out in front of his men. It's literally, if I can't take these guys, then none of you can, so don't die. Like, find a way to, like, go around them, go back to Griffith, tell him that I died so that he can come up with a strategy so that you won't die.
There's that brilliant scene from the anime when they do the final war against for the 100-Year War, and Guts is just smiling like a maniac with his sword on his back in a sandstorm before charging in the enemy.
Mm-hmm.
It's just describing him so well. But I guess he was not
Seriously.
watching that show.
Toxic. We have to describe them as toxic because that is all your tiny little brainlet can come up with. That
Read
is,
the second half
again,
of that sentence.
what? Enslaved to their own masculine ideals and preoccupations. Dude. Remember what I said about ideologies and just looking at the world through a specific lens?
Yep.
You cannot... Oh my god. You can't accept them as characters. No, they got to be toxic and slaves to masculine ideals and preoccupations.
What if
Fuck
they're
you.
just masculine? What if they just are that?
Yeah, what if and hear me out. What if masculinity can be a good thing?
No.
Oh.
No way.
No.
It's almost like the fucking crossroads that Skull Knight was talking about. Now, you can use your masculine strength to be a violent, sociopathic, vengeful motherfucker, or you can use your masculine strength to protect the people you love.
You can be a force for good, or you can be a force for evil. It depends on how you use your power.
And
Depends.
it's almost like we're seeing in Guts and Griffith the two guys going on the exact opposite sides of that fork in the road.
And by the way, if you want to be as simplistic and Twitter user as possible, there is one person you could describe as toxic, and that's Griffith.
Mm-hmm.
If you wanted to be as simplistic as possible, toxic is not how you should describe Griffith, because that is a very, very complex character. But sure, go ahead and summarize two incredibly complexly two incredibly complicated characters, and wrap that up with toxic and slaves to their own masculine ideals and preoccupations. But you can't totally blame them for being the way they are. Oh, fuck you, society! Society!
It's all society.
Fuck society! Woo! We hit the fucking bingo card with this shit.
We live in a society, bottom text.
Dude, this guy is hit. I've hit bingo like 5 times just since I showed up.
You can't totally blame them for being the way they are. Yeah, I can totally blame Griffith for being the way he is.
I can totally blame Guts for being the way he is. You know why? It's called personal fucking responsibility.
Yes.
And he learns that
holding
lesson.
someone accountable for their actions.
Yes.
Holding people accountable for the way they are. And if Guts... I'll attack Guts for a second, even though I would never do it to his face. But I'll attack Guts for a second. If you can't figure out what the fuck you want out of life and have to burn every bridge, you are, to borrow a word from old Austin Jones here, writer with eclectic media interests, emotionally immature. You have not developed yourself. You have not put any work into yourself outside of swing sword and... That's it. That's all you fucking did. That's all you did for personal development, and you looked at yourself in the mirror at the end of the day and went, that's done.
Yeah, the swordsmith chapter in Berserk is perfectly describing that.
Oh,
So-
yeah, cracks in the blade.
Yes.
So Guts is an incredibly, again, Austin Jones, using your vocabulary since you want to be so fucking simplistic, emotionally immature. Underdeveloped, not tapping into his potential, not just as a swordsman, but as a person. He's not a person. He has a personality, but he's not a person. He's not a man. And he doesn't become a man until much later. He doesn't become a man until after he leaves Griffith.
That was a disappointment. Oh, he describes
gonna-
himself as a queer writer.
What's up?
This is Guts coming back to the place where he left. The only 2 surviving members of the Band of the Hawk besides himself. Got old Rickard here and Casca. Left Casca in a mine, the only place that's safe as a person with a brain to sacrifice. The only place that's safe for her, aside from Elfheim, is the fucking mine with the elven metal, with the enchanted elven metal ore in it. Right? So Guts went and fucked off for 2 fucking years. 2 years! He left Casca in a fucking mine by herself. And now, look at him. He's coming back because he needs his shit repaired. And he's got the nerve to blame Rickard for not going out and finding Casca. And look at Erica here. Look, you left her here. You went off somewhere for 2 years. Like, you don't even know how Rickard feels. Yeah.
Now, is this because I haven't read the manga, but is this part of where the skull horseman is about to tell him you're going down two roads?
No.
No, that speech is after this.
Yeah. So this is before that.
Yes. Like, this is Guts realizing he's fucked up. Also, after 2 years, he finally figured out that the guy that let him live in his house for a year is on his deathbed. The guy who forged the Dragon Slayer. gave him all his nice order, is here in his fucking deathbed. Right? And here it is, like, yeah. Like, Godo wants to see his work, and this is what, after 2 years, this is what the fucking Dragon Slayer looks like. Well, let's see where it is. The thing about hatred is the place where people who can't look sorrow in the eye without wavering run off to. Even more than a blood-rusted sword, vengeance is something you soak and sharpen in blood. You sink the blade, called your heart, deep into blood in order to fix the nick called sorrow. The more you sharpen, the more it rusts, so you sharpen it again. In the end, all that's left is a pile of rust and scraps. But you got some huge nicks in your heart. Like Dan cracks called fear running all through it. And here's Guts telling you don't know what it's like. You don't know what the eclipse was like. Like, they were all young. They could have done something if they lived. In an instant, they were irreplaceable. You abandoned those irreplaceable things. And there it is, right here.
Yep, that's the turning point for Guts' character.
Yes. Right here. On that day 2 years ago, in your hopeless suffering, you left the last irreplaceable things you had and went away by yourself.
Can we talk about the fucking artwork? Jesus Christ.
Yes.
Dude, read the manga.
This is why there are so many fucking hiatuses. This is why Berserk is not done. Because Miura is like, he would like sit as soon, like he retrained himself how to draw when like digital became the thing. And that made the hiatuses even worse because he would constantly zoom in and touch it up so that his drawings would be pixel perfect.
That's the other thing, is that at the time when this was released, pretty much, he had like a monthly schedule, so he pretty much released these every month.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. Like, I think for like 5 or 10 years even, he went to it with a schedule that like he only maybe releases 1 chapter a year.
But like we get like this right here. Society didn't make Guts do this.
He did it himself.
Yes, and that's the problem. Like what Godo is talking about here is 100% Guts' fault. Like,
all right, moving on.
No, that's it. That was the end of it.
So, Austin Jones. This is and Bears, I'd like to make this call out with your permission. Do you mind if I invite him?
Sure. Why not?
Austin Jones, if you're for some reason hearing this, number one, I am sorry we subjected you to about almost 2 hours of insults and calling your work a piece of shit. However, we wouldn't have to do that if your work wasn't a piece of shit. So, we would like to invite you to defend your points, defend your arguments, defend your essay, defend your ideology. Since, from what I see, that is pretty much how you see the world, is through this lens that isn't supported by the text. Now, if you're going to respond with everything is subjective and my opinion is just as valid, wrong. No, it's not. What's valid is what is supported by the text and the conclusions that we can draw from that. Not this weird framework that you've placed over Berserk. Now, I'm not as attached to Berserk as Bear or Mark or Sai. I've only seen it once, and that was already a rough shot for me because I don't like super gory shit. I don't like the murder rate. Makes me queasy on the inside. So I'm not super duper attached to it. However, I can appreciate the solid themes of Berserk. I can appreciate the solid writing. And I would love to talk about this with you. I would anyway. I'm not going to speak for Mark or Sire Bears.
Sure. I'll have him on if he fucking goes on there.
If he's willing. Sure.
All right. There you go. Sire, you want to add anything?
Yeah, I'd talk to him.
All right. There you go. All four of us on this panel would love to talk to you. And one thing I can say for certain is that it will be civil. We may call you a doofy dingus or a nincompoop or a big dumb stupid. But that's all in good fun and entertainment. And you have full reign to call us the same back. However, the point stands. We would love to talk to you. We would love to have you on to defend your points. And we mean that with all due respect. Your essay is stupid.
Very. Incredibly. Profoundly.
No one cares, Eric.
All right.
Guts was coping and he realized he can't be coping. Thank you,
Yes.
Matthias.
Well, I mean, that's it. Like, this is what, like, being the Black Swordsman is what happens when you overdose on copium. Like, that's why you don't cope. You deal with it, right? You can have a little bit of copium. Just a little bit. It's like morphine, right? You can have a little bit for a little while.
Or you can have a lot and your life is awesome for about a minute.
Yes.
I believe like the Guts from 2016 was overdosed on Clangium.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We will be back next week.
Oh, did we talk about the boat?
I don't think the audience knows.
Yeah, the audience does not know, unfortunately.
Okay.
The boat.
Just for the audience, whoever does know, the boat ain't happening.
F's in chat for the boat,
Can
unfortunately.
we get a few F's in the chat? Our God is dead.
For those of you out of the loop, we're gonna have a guy that we were really excited. We found in the hiatus, we found a guy named Billy Boat. You know, a little small indie rapper. We came to love him. We're gonna have him on, but unfortunately, he has decided to take a break from, you know, internet stuff and music production to work on himself, or, you know, just take a hiatus, have a break, just for his own sake.
Yeah, we don't know 100% what happened, but I was in communication with him for a little while. He ended up deleting his YouTube channel and closing down means of communication. It's really unfortunate. And before anybody asks, it's not because Bear called him the N-word. It just kind of fell out of communication, and it's what happened.
But Billy, if you are watching this, we will have you on whenever the fuck you feel like coming back.
We support the boat.
Always support the boat.
Boat.
2022 was supposed to be the year of the boat.
Well, the year of the sloppy will have to take over in its stead to carry on the spirit.
Oh,
I will finish what you started.
The nitty gritty will live through us.
I will finish the nitty gritty. Thank you, Mark.
All right. We will see you all next week. You have a good night.
Bye bye.
See you later.